going to go to our next speaker, who is the head of business intelligence and analytics at Mindshare at the USA. This is none other than Ikechi Okoronkwo. In his current role, Ikechi is helping Mindshare clients to leverage on data in new ways and embrace innovations and predictive analytics. He works across Mindshare US accounts to ensure that analytics is consistently adding value through stakeholder partnership and clear storytelling. He collaborates heavily with planning strategy teams to take on various business challenges for Mindshare clients. His team has over 100 people across the offices in New York, Chicago, Atlanta, and Los Angeles. Over and above that, he takes time to attend and speak at various conferences to make sure that he stays connected with analytics and marketing community and has a strong relationship with colleagues in the New York area and also in Columbia, Baruch, Fordham, and Pace University. So we are glad to have him here. Thank you so much, Ikechi, and over to you as you take us through the next session. Welcome and karibu.
Thanks, Ian, for the introduction. Hi, everyone. My name is Ikechi Okoronkwo, and I just want to start by letting you all know how honored I am to participate in the CIO Africa MarTech Summit as a guest speaker. Before I introduce myself fully and get into the topic I'm here to discuss, I would like to extend my gratitude to CIO for giving me the opportunity to talk with all of you today. And a special thanks to Vanessa Oburo, who made me aware of this event and extended the invite. You know, I'm particularly excited to be here, especially because I'm alongside many accomplished and interesting professionals who are part of the agenda for this summit. So all in all, I think this will be a great experience for me. And I also hope that you leave here today with some useful information as well. So to kick things off, I'm here to talk about the growing role of data and analytics in marketing. And this is a topic that I've dedicated most of my professional career towards, so I'm quite passionate and opinionated on the subject. To provide some context for who I am and why I've been invited to talk about this today, I run the business intelligence and analytics practice for Mindshare in the US. I also sit on the advisory board of a marketing consulting startup called Consequence Analytics, and I'm an adjunct instructor for marketing analytics at Fordham University Gabelli School of Business. So going back to my role at Mindshare, for anyone who isn't familiar with Mindshare, we're a media agency within the WPP umbrella, which is the largest global media network. So Mindshare and our sister agencies are routinely at the top of global awards lists, and we're fortunate to work with some of the biggest and boldest brands around the world. At Mindshare, I can honestly say that data and analytics is core to our identity as an agency. And I'm fortunate to work with an organization that takes our field very seriously. So to provide more context, the team I run deals with everything across the spectrum from data engineering, measurement framework setup, and reporting to various types of modeling and machine learning applications for brand and performance marketing. However, the unique thing about Mindshare is that analytics isn't off to the side as a luxury or support function. My team actually sits within a larger group called Strategy and Analytics because we're at the forefront of conversations with clients to challenge their briefs by ensuring that data fuels everything we do throughout the process. So my team is involved in using data and analytics for branding campaigns, commerce and shopper marketing, performance-driven briefs, and in some instances, clients actually use us to supplement or enhance their internal analytics capabilities with projects that aren't just tied to marketing. So enough about me and Mindshare. I assure you I'm not here to promote Mindshare and talk about how great our company is. However, I would like to use our organization as an example to bring to life some of the points that I would like to make today. So I'm sure that most people would agree that data and analytics should have an important role in the marketing value chain, and simply because it affords you with a competitive advantage, especially in our increasingly digital world. However, I want to use this forum to highlight how to extract the most value from data because the value proposition of analytics is often misrepresented. So there's a huge risk for it to actually become a point of frustration instead of a powerful lever to fuel a brand's growth. So everything by way of data, measurement, reporting, and analytics should be designed expressly to inform and enhance the decision-making process. The brand or agency that operates on their behalf needs to take this seriously. To do that, you need to expand your aperture beyond intermediary signals like reach and other delivery metrics and apply enough focus and measurement that is linked to business outcomes because it normalizes the conversation into a currency that can be evaluated alongside other levers outside of marketing that a business can pull to run their operation. So previously I mentioned that we're living in an increasingly digital world. And in this world, speed is a critical competitive advantage in making decisions. However, speed is often at odds with confidence as it relates to decision-making. So this is why agencies and brands need to develop some sort of framework to help them to resolve the tension between speed and confidence when it comes to data and analytics. And if done right, you should be able to identify the right leading indicators to evaluate for supporting faster decisions using methods that establish causation to your larger business objectives across the brand to demand spectrum. I bring this up because the biggest problem I've observed when it comes to data and analytics is as more data is available to us, people feel the need to start measuring everything before establishing a foundation for what is actually important to the business. So they jump right into selecting KPIs to evaluate success. And in some situations, these KPIs can end up being materially meaningless as a barometer for actual business performance. So this is why analytics or measurement shouldn't come after you've already formed your strategy. You need to plan for measurement upfront so that you can invest in a way to intentionally parse out learnings and manage expectations to make sure that your insights are meaningful. So it's essential to start by outlining your business objectives and identify the metrics that matter, which can be linked to business outcomes. So measurement moves from retrospective to being prospective and forward-looking. So you'll notice that up until this point, I haven't talked about any fancy algorithms, methodologies, or techniques yet, right? And the reason is analytics tends to fall flat if you don't perform the basic steps I talked about earlier. So many times the questions clients are asking are quite simple, and you risk letting them down if you take them on this long journey to build a massive dashboard or complex model that could work great but isn't fit for purpose. However, if upfront expectations are managed properly and analytics practitioners are properly engaged throughout the process, data and analytics can be a cornucopia of wonders for an organization. So I'll touch on a couple key areas or trends that I believe are going to play a major role in the growth of data and analytics for marketing over the next couple of years. So the adoption of low-code platforms will grow significantly, which will power the rise of the citizen data scientist. Over the last decade, the value of data scientists spiked significantly, but we didn't see huge shifts in innovation like we thought we would because organizations rushed to hire these data scientists, but didn't properly define needs or have the patience to see projects through. So a lot of firms defaulted back to their rudimentary methods and back of the napkin math when their project stalled or time to value was too lengthy. However, over the last couple of years, companies like Alteryx, DataRobot, and Big Squid have succeeded in creating easy-to-use platforms to democratize the use of complex analytical methods in platforms that require little to no knowledge of Python or having a deep statistical background. So now you can hire analysts with T-shaped skill sets who can build models and dashboards at speed and can effectively deliver results to clients, especially if they have good data translation and storytelling skills. So this trend won't devalue data science expertise, but it will force organizations to be more targeted when making these types of hires. So this trend, I believe, will create a drastic shift from people viewing analytics as dashboarding and reporting, and there'll be more of an adoption of predictive analytics that is linked to business outcomes, that is powered by multivariate regression models and machine learning. Advanced analytics does happen in pockets in the marketing world, but these methods will start to be applied at scale across more touch points. This is true for clients across all verticals around the world. So from CPG, where the customer journey is disintermediated, to online retail, where you have a deterministic user journey that can be tracked, even if it is at the cohort level, when cookies eventually go away, even though Google keeps giving us more time. And the point here is whether you're predicting expected reach, media engagement, searches, or sales, basically every brand around the world has something that can be predicted and forecasted. So automated machine learning will be that catalyst to transform our collective capabilities in this area. And we've already started building the foundations across continents to make this a reality. The process of marketing will become more platform-based, from media brief standardization to the process of selecting partners and integrating their research and data with other methods, to automated algorithm-based approaches for media plan optimization, to scenario planning and test and learn frameworks that power an ongoing feedback loop. So in summary, gone are the days when you can just throw people at the problem using an FTE model. Firms will need to invest more in the platform and process portion of the value chain to remain competitive and credible. So this doesn't mean that the people part of the equation is less valuable. It's actually the opposite, in my opinion. You know, I've observed that clients will become frustrated with too much data crammed into dashboards and lengthy PowerPoint presentations. So the value of consistent data translation will increase significantly, and no machine can play that role as well as a good old human. If predictive analytics is done right, forecasts can be validated against outcomes, which increases trust and credibility. However, any good experiment has a healthy ratio of art and science, and we need a human touch to make sure that we're not blindly following algorithms that are incapable of understanding nuance or empathy that isn't pre-programmed into the process. I also believe that client leaders and strategists will not be able to get away with just a surface level understanding of the data and analytics space. However, because we now have access to low-code, easy-to-use platforms and other things, the democratization of the use of analytics won't be as hard of a task as it used to be. The paradigm will shift from using data to justify our strategy to embracing the scientific method, which is about consistently asking questions and using each incremental observation to increase our understanding of the marketing ecosystem. So the goal of data and analytics isn't to establish absolute certainty, because that is empirically impossible. The goal should be about creating a mathematical representation of our marketing environment that we can use to compare and evaluate options for decisions that need to be made either at speed or with a high degree of confidence. So to bring this to life, this is why we built our own scenario planning tool at Mindshare called Synapse to drive the budget setting, optimization, and forecasting process. We also built our own internal tools for modeling and experimentation to ensure that multiple internal stakeholders can contribute to the analytics process. We have also established strategic partnerships with low-code analytics platforms like Alteryx and a couple others to supplement our internal capabilities. I like to quote Shane McAndrew, Mindshare's Chief Data Strategy Officer, and he says that the future of marketing will have a world that's wholly addressable, where media is platform-based, where planning is analytically driven, where media is transacted programmatically, and everything will be outcome-based. And as an analytics leader in the marketing and advertising industry, I am ruthlessly focused on making the right investments and organizational adjustments and building a team that is well-equipped to meet that future. I hope that you enjoyed my quick chat about data and analytics, which I'm sure is everyone's favorite subject before it starts to make your head hurt. But all joking aside, I am actually very excited for the next couple of years to see how some of these trends evolve. And I'm fortunate to be working at Mindshare, where we're leading the industry and driving all the things that I just spoke about. So thanks once again to CIO for giving me this platform to share my ideas. And I hope you all enjoy the rest of the summit. Thank you.